What is up, y'all? We're back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some Terrifier 3, but before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. So to get into this, I want to talk about the final act and what could potentially happen. So with Terrifier 3, we know that this is going to be surrounding Jonathan and Sienna, you know, them with survivors, guilt, and just trauma, and just a lot of things going on from, you know, what we're hearing and everything. And it's obviously out there just because we saw the previous events in Terrifier 2. Now, a lot of us speculated that Jonathan is going to be killed. I mean, I still think that it's potentially, you know, something out there where he can be killed, but I also think he could survive going into Terrifier 4. Now, with Sienna and Art the Clown, we've heard a lot of crazy things about the final battle where they both are going through it. You know, they're both are going through it. It's going to be a very brutal final act. And we're hearing things from, you know, all the way from the final act to the very end of the credits. It's just brutal and crazy and bloody and gory. So to be honest, I already told you guys, I think it's going to be one of those moments where I think Sienna is going to get her flowers as a final girl in this film. I think this movie is going to definitely elevate her up to being in that category or crawling up that ladder at least. And I think that with this film, we see that, you know, in the trailer, it's in a house or whatever. It's in a house and Art the Clown throws her over a couch. It seems that he doesn't even have the Santa costume on. He has on like his regular Art get up. And I want to say he has on the Santa hat. Now, to kind of push forward and everything with this, I think what's going to happen, because we already got confirmed a Terrifier 4 by Damien at Fantastic Fest, it's going to be a cliffhanger. You know, it's going to be definitely a cliffhanger or something. Now, I don't know if they're going to pull a Terrifier 2 where it seems to be that Art is killed or whatever, but he kind of gets revived later to continue on Terrifier 4, or he actually just kind of walks out the situation and he's still out there, and this time Sienna knows that he's out there because she didn't kill him. Now, we heard in the trailer where they're talking, Sienna and Jonathan, about them having to go back to the Terrifier, which is the attraction from the previous events in Terrifier 2, where it ended because of this sword. Obviously, they didn't say the sword, but, you know, we figured it out, and it's basically a sword. The sword that was left in a situation for her to use. Now, I think with this sword, it can definitely be the thing that can take out Art the Clown, just because it just makes sense, especially with, we talked about this in my previous video where we think that Sienna's father, you know, his thoughts and his characters he's made up and drew in this book are coming to life, being one of them is Art the Clown and one of them is Sienna, you know, with the warrior costume and everything. So things are coming to life. And I think with Terrifier 3, they're going to definitely explain some of that. We already, you know, kind of hear that they touch on some crazy things, but I really do think when you sit here and think about everything with Terrifier 3, questions have to be answered. We also heard from, you know, earlier reactions with this film that other questions has been raised, you know, so questions were answered, but questions were raised also. So that's very interesting, just because I feel like, you know, Terrifier 2 left us with a lot of questions, especially with Jonathan and Sienna and their father, and how Art the Clown is tied into them and their family, and just the entity and everything, where Art the Clown, an evil entity that's attached to him. So I think that it's something that's obviously keeping Art the Clown going. I'm not saying he has any like motive or anything, because obviously it doesn't seem that he does, but it's something that keeps him going with this evil entity that's attached. And it's kind of interesting once we see like this freaking clown cafe type of demon scene, where the reason I say it's that clown cafe type of scene, because you see the flames going up Sienna's face and it looks very dreamy, you know. I think right there in that moment she's going to find something out, because they kind of, you know, have it shot that way, but I can be wrong, or it can be real. But for me, it seems like it could be a clown cafe scene. But I think that when you kind of sit here and think about it, that Sienna is going to have multiple nightmares through this film, with Art the Clown kind of letting her know that he's out there and he's back. Because we see another scene where it looks like she's like in the mall or something, and it looks a little like, you know, glazy, like how a nightmare would be, and it's, you know, she has tears in her eyes and stuff like that. So I definitely think that it's going to be multiple nightmare sequences with Sienna. I think her just being traumatized and going through a lot is definitely going to be something where she actually is going to be going through dreams and seeing Art the Clown and figure things out with her dreams. We obviously saw that picture of Jason Patrick, possibly their father, and a little girl or a boy in the corner, and it could be a flashback kind of telling us, you know, some stuff and some backstory. But pushing forward, I think the final act is going to definitely be brutal because, to be honest, Sienna stuck with Art the Clown in Terrifier 2. Like, you got to think about it, bro. Art the Clown was finna take Jonathan out. Like, he was really finna take him out with the whip he had with the knives and everything on it. Sienna stepped in and she started, you know, going to work on Art the Clown. So we're hearing that this is going to be a real final act, like a real battle. So I'm very excited to see what happens in the outcome of it. I heard the climax is amazing. Hearing like the last 30 minutes is just batshit crazy with the final act. So I really just can't wait to see how this plays out and everything. And just, I've been hearing a lot of things with the kills, also how unique they are and how some, you know, Christmas is incorporated in a lot of them. I heard about this one kill, like just not the details of it, but I just kind of heard that it's very brutal, and all I'm gonna say is it is not the shower scene. I heard about one, but they didn't tell me like the details. They just kind of told me like it's topping a lot of his previous kills, and it's very unique. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. They just kind of told me about the aftermath of it, but to push forward and everything, I think that the fact that they're trying to top Allie's kill in this kind of just shows you where Damien is trying to go with Art the Clown. Like, he's taking those risks. He doesn't care. And speaking of risk, I want to talk about some of the controversy that's in the Terrifier community right now, in the horror community. You guys know over here on I Like Scary, we love Art the Clown. We are a part of the Art the Clown Appreciation Society, if I say so. And I really do care about Art the Clown. I think that he's a great character. He's something new that horror needs, a breath of fresh air. But a lot of people come in the community, they kind of comment on videos and things like that. They're all on social media, and if you say like, yeah, I love Art the Clown, or I really, I'm a fan of Terrifier, they're like, that's not a movie, it's just blood and gore, it's not a movie. And what about the stuff they're trying to say he's gonna do, and he's gonna take out a kid and stuff like that? I want to say this. Listen, for the ones who love, Terrifier and Art the Clown, for the ones who genuinely has been there from the start, you guys will know this is not a first, this is nothing new. That's why I think some people, they're not understanding. Go back to All Hallows Eve. Literally, go back to All Hallows Eve where it all started. Art the Clown has done this before. He has done this, bro. I don't know what's going on right now. Like, this the controversy, how people are saying like, it's just too much and I wouldn't support this film. They're going too far and everything. It's okay. That's your opinion. I think at the end of the day, let people like what they like. Let people enjoy what they enjoy. Me personally, I'm going to rock out with Art the Clown and Terrifier. I love it, man. I genuinely do. And like I said, bro, at the end of the day, it's just horror. But I do understand people that sometimes they feel like it goes over the line, especially if a kid gets involved. I do understand people just saying they don't want to see it. But to just kind of just go crazy and bash people about it, like, bro, Art the Clown has done it before. It's nothing new. What about when evil lurks? What about that scene? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's shit like that that's out there, but I don't want to get too deep into it. At the end of the day, it's just a movie. We're just trying to have a good time and just watch it. But people, you can have your opinions out there if you don't like Terrifier. That's okay. I love it. It's not going to change my mind. I'm pretty sure it might not change other Terrifier fans' mind, but that's just me talking. But to get into this, we're also, hearing that this ending is possibly like an Empire Strikes Back type of ending, meaning, preparing for Terrifier 4. And like I said, with Terrifier 4, they can go many ways just because they did Christmas with this. And who knows, maybe they don't even go a holiday route with Terrifier 4. Maybe they need to just focus on the lore of their character and the story in Miles County. People are saying that maybe they do Easter, maybe they do Valentine's Day. They don't gotta do a holiday. I think they just did Christmas because it's just like, it's Art the Clown. I think Christmas and slasher would be fun with him. But I mean, maybe they could do it. I feel like with Terrifier 4, it's just going to be a lot of questions answered, and we're going to definitely get that concluding ending. I don't know. I don't see them doing a 5, but if they do a 5, then okay, Damien. But it seems like 4 might be the last one, and it might just be just enough to tell his story he's trying to tell with Art the Clown and Sienna and everything. So I'm looking forward to Terrifier 4. I'm so happy to be hearing about that. We hear things with Terrifier 3 about, obsession being involved, and it's not coming from Jonathan. only. We're hearing stuff, you know, obsession and just also like just true crime. And we kind of hear that in the trailer a little bit, where we see Mia brings up the situation with Art the Clown and everything. She brings it up. It kind of is shot like she's talking to Sienna, but if you kind of look closely, it seems that she's talking to Jonathan. They just did a trick shot, but yeah, she's bringing it up. So maybe she's obsessed with true crime. You know, her and Alexa, her bunkie or whatever, they're obsessed with it and things like that. And we're hearing things about, you know, this true crime being obsessed on in this story, which I think that is going to bring it to life from different angles, having, you know, Art the Clown be brought up in that conversation, because it just makes me think about when we go back to Terrifier 2, where, you know, Jonathan actually was obsessed with Art the Clown, and he's looking on the computer at Art the Clown, and he sees him and he starts to grow the obsession, but now he's dealt with him, so he doesn't want to be a part of it, obviously. Now Mia, it seems to be, is the one that wants to be, you know, bringing up the true crime aspect of it and the obsession with Art the Clown. Like, you dealt with Art the Clown, and he doesn't want nothing to do with it from the trailer, from my understanding, it seems to be. So that should be a very interesting thing that's going on. Seems like Mia's going to be very annoying, especially with Jonathan. He's not going to like her, and I mean, it's not going to last that long, because you know that she's going to be killed. So, you know, the shower scene I'm hearing is very brutal and things like that. And speaking of brutal, so this scene right here, guys, is something that I just kind of put together, but I can be wrong. This is not confirmed or anything. So we saw recently on the podcast that David Howard Thornton was talking about that moment where he almost vomited, and, you know, he was on set, and just everything that was going on, and the thoughts just made him almost feel like he had to puke. I'm going to pull this video for you guys so you can see what he said.
One kill that happened in the movie I got grossed out at, and you've probably heard the rumors of that, where I got a little bit sick on set. I did not throw up. I almost did, though. And it was because that kill entails something that just makes me nauseous anyway. And I think Damien put that in there just to really mess with me. And it did not help that we're in a very hot house, and it was very smelly in that room that day. And then Samantha Scafidi just decides to walk in eating this bag of corn nuts just to watch what was going on. She wasn't in that scene, and she's just there. And I was like, "Oh God, Sam, go away! That smells, man. You're just making it." She's like, "What's wrong, Dave?" I'm like, "Oh." And I was even like, "Can I send in my stunt double?" They're like, "No, Dave, you got to be in the shot. Your face is shown in the shot." I'm like, "Oh, I hate you guys so much right now."
So as you see what he said in the video, that yeah, he didn't puke, but he almost puked and things like that. So you hear him bring up, you know, they were in a house, an old stinky smelly house. Now we see in the end of the Terrifier 3 trailer where Sienna and Art the Clown are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to kill Sienna. He's not. But it's another house that's brought up where we see Chrissy Fox. She's getting chased by Art the Clown and everything, but we see a quick shot of her death. And it looks brutal from the looks of it. It looks very brutal, but we don't see him finish it off, so we don't see the aftermath of it. And he said it was in an old, you know, hot, stinky house. It was stinky that day. Is he talking about Chrissy Fox? Is he talking about that crazy kill right there? Because that definitely looks like it's not going to end well. You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking that, like, maybe he's talking about the Chrissy Fox death that makes him almost vomit and, you know, everything. So I think that we possibly are on to something with that, but it's not confirmed. I'm pretty sure he's going to be taking out other victims in other spots, but this is the only one that I can think about. Or it can be the guy with the box cutter. We see the guy up in the attic with the green vest, and he has the box cutter in his hand and everything. I definitely think it's between those two. Mia and Cole, they're in a frat house, it looks to look like, but it can be either one of those. But something tells me he's talking about Chrissy Fox's death, but I can be wrong. Comment down below what you guys think about Terrifier 3, and I want to know, did you guys end up getting your popcorn buckets from Cinemark? They don't come out till February, man. I'm kind of bummed about that. But comment down below, and comment down below what you think about what we just talked about when it comes to Terrifier 3. But unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on my social medias at ILIKESCARY. I want you to watch some horror movies. Stay scary out there. Peace.